And when she would run, like she would even lean farther forward like this. So she was just constantly putting pressure on her low back here. And now, just relax and show them where you're at now. Okay, so that's a relaxed state there. So one of the things we're going to talk about today is lordosis. Okay, I did another video on it, and we'll put the link in many years ago when I talked about how the internal rotation of your hips, if you internally rotate your feet in, how the butt will tuck underneath, okay? And how the abdominals aren't that important, but as I've come to see a lot more clients, and especially my wife here, where she didn't really have a problem with internal rotation, yet she still had major lordosis. And it was so bad, and she's gonna talk about it, but your low back would constantly hurt you and stuff like that?
My low back constantly hurt me, and it was really uncomfortable. I didn't even realize how my posture looked, but he's gonna tell you more about that.
And what else, like, would it hurt you when you're walking? Like if you went on long walks, like when would it hurt you?
Yeah, surprisingly, after long walks, which I considered a good thing for my body, but usually I was thinking something is weird, something is wrong. So yeah, I realized it's probably not right.
And show them where you started, like how bad your lordosis was.
Think like this.
Yeah, like when she would walk, it was literally like this. Okay, so that's a relaxed state there, not bad. Okay, now when she runs, she looks more like this. And show them where you were at again.
Where I was?
Yeah. So she would literally just be like that all day long. Like that's it.
Without even realizing that.
So let's go in, we're gonna show the ab test, and then we're gonna show you the hip flexor stretch. And let's go into that now. These are not gonna work, they're gonna blend in with the floor. Done.
Will this work?
Yes. Why don't you show them, this is phase one of her abs. We had her do, she was so weak on this, we had her do 2 sets every day for literally like 3 or 4 months until she built up to where I want. And now what do you do, like 2-3 times a week now?
Yes, it's part of my program, and sometimes I just threw it there when I feel like it.
So 2-3 times a week?
That's minimum, yes.
Okay, ready? Go ahead. All right, so show them where you, so the goal with this one is just keep your legs on the floor and just come up. So the goal in this one is I want her back completely flat here, where I can't get my fingers underneath. And come up, just there, that's where she can really keep this flat. And now bring your legs up in the air and show them where you started. So she started right here, and this is where she could keep the back flat. If she came down with her legs, go ahead, come down with your legs. If she came down here, it would literally go like that, and I could get my whole hand under here. So now go ahead and flatten. And up. Good. And now what you do is to give yourself a break. So if you're just at level 1 here, you put your legs down and now come up with the legs and your body just like that. And that's a rep. And then you relax. Good. Up. Good. And that's where she could keep her back flat. Okay? And up, and I want her to come up more off this floor, and that's the kind of the next level for her, is getting this whole upper back up more off the floor.
Plus you can feel there when the back takes over.
Yeah, you got to really have an awareness of where you can flatten the back, and now she does. She still struggles with this exercise, but it's gotten much better. So let's show them level 2. So level 2 is going to be right around here. And now go ahead, flatten. Good. And that's pretty flat. Put it back down. Let's do 10 reps. And come up more. Up. Fight up. Yeah. Good. Fight up. That's what I want. Good. That took her like probably 6 months. Would you say, to be able to do that? Yeah. Around 6 months. And now we'll show you the final level, and she still struggles on it because she's got to work on trying to get her back to come off the ground more. And up. So try to keep it flat. That's awesome. Go ahead. That's completely flat. She's really locking in now. You see how mine comes up off the floor. This is what I want her to be able to do, because now it's totally flat here. Next exercise we're going to show you, I call it the knee lunge, okay? I really learned a lot from Jonathan, okay? His method's called contorture. That's what this is based off of. But we're going to show you this exercise here. And what I want you to understand is that for her psoas, okay, the one that runs here from the hip flexor up and it attaches to your back, was so tight, it was shortening, it was pulling her this way. So that's why this is really important to tuck underneath when we're doing this stretch here, okay, and then start moving your hip forward in this position. If you don't tuck and you just relax, then you're just creating more lordosis. If I tuck under and then I stretch forward, that's what's going to take the lordosis away. All right, so now we're going to show you her of where she started with this and what we're going to do. So we want to feel like we're in train tracks here, where she's her heels in line with the back of her butt, and her knee here, go ahead and move your foot in a little bit more. So her knee is right in line with the front of the hip here. You want a little bit of a tilt too, that Jonathan teaches, a little bit of a tilt this way when you're doing it here. You don't want to be leaned over like this. You want a little tilt here so your hip kind of comes this way. And then that knee, see how the knee's right in line with the front? Yep. And this is nice and straight. And now, when she started with this, in order for her to tuck her butt, she had to lean back and now tuck under and squeeze your butt. And when she would squeeze her butt here, that's where she would feel the stretch right in the front of her hip flexor. If she tried to come upright, and she tried to squeeze her butt and tuck forward, it was impossible for her to squeeze here and she would lose the stretch here. So she had to start with her butt back, go ahead, butt back, lean forward, and tuck under. That's where she started with this, and she had to stay way back like this in order for her to actually even be able to do it, okay? And now relax. So that's kind of level one, is your hip is going to be a little bit behind the knee, you lean forward, you tuck under, you squeeze. And if you feel a stretch here and you can squeeze your butt, then you know you're in the right position. And as she got better at this, she came more upright, and now she tucks under, and that's, can you come more forward now? Yeah, and you see she maintains that squeeze. So that's pretty good right there, but that's super challenging for her, correct? Mm-hmm, yes. And then relax back, good, and now tuck under, and forward. Good. And what you really want to do is when you're starting out, take a break, what you want to do is you want to start with a little bit of a pad, like a book, like a hard surface. This is a pretty firm surface here, like 1.5 inch around there, and you're going to put your knee on. It's just going to make it easier for you. A little lifted with the knee makes it a little bit easier to tuck underneath. If you don't have that, then it's much harder, okay? And if you watch me here too, when I'm doing this, okay, I'm actually going to do it without this because it's just too hard. I mean, it's too easy. So I'm here. Do you see how I'm in this position here? I'm not, you see how when she came forward, the butt started going back. You got to tuck here, and then look, that's where I'm moving forward from, you see? You see I'm always maintaining that. If we show where she's at, go ahead, tuck underneath, and start leaning back a little bit, but stay tucked, and now try to come forward with your hip. That's about it. You see how tight that is? So that's what we fought. That's why she's still not 100%.
So the progression of this is basically, I just put the foot up on the chair. The reason we don't start with this, lean forward a little bit, babe, so they can show. And now tuck from there and squeeze, tuck the hip under. So see how I have her fold over? That's where she can really squeeze her butt, okay? And then she's gonna try to get her hip more forward and come more upright. That's about your max right there. Yeah, see how she can still squeeze? That's about it right there. And the reason I don't like starting people off like this, take a break, is because they won't be able to properly squeeze their butt. So that's why you got to start on the floor and really understand how to tuck the pelvis. Because if you come completely upright, you can't squeeze your glute, correct?
It's harder for sure.
Yeah, so that's where she's trying to get to. So she can't push her pelvis forward yet. So you know, you got to start and really learn on the floor so you can properly tuck your pelvis. And then when you move on to this, just lean forward a little bit more, baby, so they can see that. You can lean forward and push your hips back a little bit more and start like that. And then eventually you can come more upright. And then as you get better at this, you know, most people know couch stretch. You're going to try to get your knee basically right underneath the edge of the couch there and be able to squeeze your glute. Now it could be something over like a year period of time.
This is another exercise that we incorporated, and this really helped her. Her shoulders, with her sway back, she was here, but her shoulders were lifted, kind of pulled back and rolled forward. We did the shoulder program. That helped, but then we also have this other issue here of just general posture to get her spine to be more neutral in that lumbar area rather than sticking out. So we took a pad here, put it like, if this is like, if here's your belly button here, you're gonna put that right in like the middle of your belly button, okay? You don't wanna touch your butt to the bench. And then we're gonna push with our legs a little bit and squeeze into the pad here. You see how she's creating this shape here? And she's using her abs to do that. So her back's, I don't wanna be able to push this thing out of here. See how flat that is? That's what we want right there. And now from there is take your hands and we're going to start pulling her shoulders back as far as she can. Not with her, she's not trying to take her elbows and go back like this. Right here, now pull back as far as you can with your shoulders without moving your elbows backward. And the hands are right here. And then she's sucking in here and really trying to flatten and then try to pull her chest open with her shoulders. If we move our elbows back too far, then she's not ready to move her elbows back that far. Her shoulders, if she tries to pull her shoulders back as far as you can, go ahead, pull back. That's as far as they go. And she holds that for about 30 seconds. We ought to do that every day, about 3 or 4 sets. And then go ahead, now show them the standing version. This is a standing version. So tuck under with your hips. Good. Try to, now go ahead, pull your shoulders back. Good. And squeeze your butt together. And just a little bit of knee bend. But do you see how nice and flat? Go ahead, pull that, pull that. Don't let me push this. Yeah, that's the feeling you want to have, like that. Good. So she's learning how to pull her butt under and pull those shoulders back more without, yeah, good. So again, I had really bad lordosis too when I was younger. And this is just a great exercise, but here I'm squeezing. But my legs are a little bit more locked straight than hers. But you see I can tuck underneath from here and then I pull. But you see how flat that is there. It's not, I'm not going like this, it's tucked under. So I really feel like I'm pushing back into something and then I'm here.